Hey everybody, ABC 10 meteorologist Brendan Minchef. We got a wholesale pattern change on the way. If you've been keeping up with the forecasts this week, you're aware that things are moving back to winter-like as opposed to spring-like. It's how we've ended February. It's been very nice. In fact, we hit 77 degrees the final day of February in Sacramento. The warmest day so far this year. The day before, 75. Wednesday was 72. Upper 60s before that. And the previous Saturday, we were 71. So it's been a really, really pleasant stretch to end February that honestly started off pretty chilly and very wet. We've had over 4 inches of rain in Sacramento this month, but you wouldn't really know that if you only looked at the last week because it's been sunny. It's been very, very spring-like. Here's a list of the warmest days we've had in Sacramento. Again, 77 degrees. We hit that Friday afternoon. The average first 77-degree day in Sacramento is March 14th. So we've gotten there a couple weeks early at the very least. Again, 77 warmest day, 75 the day before. Wednesday was 72. So again, perfect way to end February, but things are all about to change. We are going to struggle to hit 60 degrees by the time we get to Sunday afternoon. More on that in a second. Waking up early Saturday morning, middle 40s across the valley. Some patchy fog possible, but I'm really not expecting a lot of fog out there for Saturday morning. Hopefully you get to sleep in. Hopefully it doesn't even mean anything to you anyway. Saturday afternoon, we're going to call it transition, right? Not as warm as we have been, but also not cold and not wet just yet. If you have plans for Saturday, it's going to be just fine. Upper 60s, low 70s. The average time for the time of year is 66 degrees. I will point out, though, you look out towards somewhere like Fort Bragg along the coast, you see the rain icons. If you're headed to the coast, especially the north coast, you are going to encounter some showers, so keep that in mind. Even if you're going out to San Francisco tomorrow, showers are expected by Saturday evening. Here's a look at Futurecast. Again, maybe some fog Saturday morning across parts of the valley. That's going to be about it. By the time we get to Saturday afternoon, I'm looking at sunny skies across much of the valley. Maybe some clouds out there at times. It's going to be about it, though. Look what happens when we get to about 5 o'clock on Saturday, though. Clouds start to move into the valley, overcast across much of the coast, and then you look up towards Fort Bragg, other places up on the north coast, up near Cape Mendocino, Eureka. Now we've got some showers moving in. So that's our next system. This is why I say if you've got plans in the valley, you're just staying in Sacramento today, or I should say for Saturday, it's going to be just fine. No weather issues whatsoever. But if you're headed to San Francisco, you're headed to the coast, be ready for those showers. Do expect that weather pattern to transition quicker if you are further west. By the time we get to 8 o'clock, those showers start to move through the coastal range, but it's not until about midnight Sunday morning that we now see showers moving across the valley. Winter weather advisory kicks in late Saturday, and for good reason, because by 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, we've got widespread snow. This could be moderate to heavy at times, but overall totals are not going to be that impressive. We're going to measure this storm in inches and not feet, but that doesn't mean the roads will be fine. In fact, I expect we're going to need chain controls. I fully expect chains will be needed sometime Sunday morning because of the snow that we're going to see in the high country. This is 7 o'clock. It's already been raining for what, 4 hours, snowing for 4 hours now. Sunday morning across 80 and 50. Again, this is why I say I'm really confident we're going to need some chains. But in the valley Sunday morning, it's looking pretty dry. Maybe a few showers, especially in the Sacramento Valley. But for most of us Sunday morning, if you have early morning plans, it should be dry. It should be just fine. Mostly cloudy, but still, no real weather issues Sunday morning for much of the valley. Different story, though, by the time we get to Sunday afternoon. Showers become much more widespread. We could even have some thunderstorms as well, like what you just saw there, through Modesto and pushing into the foothills. Maybe some heavier showers up in the Sacramento Valley. And we're going to continue to see snow showers in the Sierra through Sunday afternoon. So more on the snow in a second, but I do want to touch on that thunderstorm risk. The Storm Prediction Center, the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma, is watching much of Central California and the San Joaquin Valley for the potential for some thunderstorms on Sunday. Not expecting anything severe, but these isolated thunderstorms are going to produce heavy rain, some lightning, and potentially some very small hail with that as well. I wouldn't expect anything bigger than about pea-sized hail with any thunderstorms that form. And they could try to ride up into the high country through Sunday as well. But remember, anything right over the crest should be snow and not an actual rainy thunderstorm. Could we see some thunderstorm? Potentially. I wouldn't rule that out. As we kind of move closer to springtime, this is kind of what happens. We now start to see the potential for that thunder in the valley, more so than what we might see in December, January, or early February. So just keep that in mind once again for Sunday. And I'll just go through Sierra thunderstorm safety because, again, we're getting into that time of year when we're starting to think more about thunder. So just be ready. If you're got outdoor plans, especially for Sunday, I know it's going to be rainy, so maybe not the best day, but just be ready because conditions, especially in the foothills, can change rapidly on these days. It can go from sunny or quiet at the very least to stormy in a matter of minutes. Make sure you have shelter nearby because you need a fully enclosed building or a hard-topped vehicle. You don't want to be in a tent or out in the middle of the open when we're looking at thunder. You don't want to be under trees either because the lightning is going to strike the highest object. And this isn't so much for this particular storm, but just in general as we go into springtime. Remember to be off the peaks as early as possible. So really by noon, certainly. Avoid those prime thunderstorm times altogether. Get your hiking, get your climbing done early. And the bottom line is if you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning. Not all of that's necessarily applicable for this storm that's coming in Sunday, but certainly as we go into springtime, right, and we get more of these thunderstorms as opposed to these snowstorms, you're going to want to keep those things in mind. Winter weather advisory, so we're talking about thunder, right? But we're also talking about snow. Winter weather advisory begins late Saturday night, continues through Monday afternoon above 4,500 feet in the high country. Again, we're going to measure this storm in inches of snow, 6+ inches in the high country, as opposed to feet, but it's still going to be enough to disrupt some travel. So to recap, Saturday is going to be just fine. Sunny through about lunchtime, then building clouds, highs upper 60s, low 70s. For Sunday, though, look at this high temperature. We're going to struggle to make it to 60. I've got 59 for a high in Sacramento. Rain, snow, and that potential for some thunder like we just talked about. So here's the model snowfall totals. We're not going to see any snow on Saturday. It's, again, once we get to early Sunday morning that the snow is going to start to fall. So by Sunday night, looking at about 5 inches or so across Donner, Immigrant Pass, and then US 50. Kind of the same thing, although maybe a few inches more, 8 inches, maybe 9 inches across US 50. Not a huge snowstorm, I will reiterate, but it's enough that it's going to cause some travel issues. I would expect chain controls across 80 and 50. Overall, the snowpack is not bad. It could be a lot worse. We're 85% of average to date statewide. We're 74% of that April 1st average statewide. April 1st, a very important number. Typically, it is peak snowpack for us here in California. So we kind of always judge where we are, not only on the current day, right, average to date, but average of April 1st. So again, statewide April 1st, 74%. Northern Sierra, 91% of that April 1st average. That's not bad at all. Northern Sierra is doing pretty good. They had a lot of early season storms up in the Northern Sierra. Central Sierra kind of missed out on some of those early season storms. So it's 80% average to date, 70% of that April 1st average. And Southern Sierra has been struggling for most of this winter to pick up snow. Just 70% of that average to date and only 62% of the April 1st average. Certainly, early February helped these numbers rebound from what was a very, very dry January. However, the last week plus, of course, we've been in the 70s, like we talked about a few minutes ago. And anytime we are warm in the wintertime, it melts the snow pretty quickly. So we've definitely lost a little bit of what we gained early on in February just because of how warm it is to end the month. But again, that pattern is changing. Weather impact alert for Sunday. We're going to see valley rain, isolated thunderstorms, and we'll have some Sierra snow as well. Can you hear thunder? You need to go inside, like what we talked about. If you're going up to the high country on Saturday, make sure you bring the chains because if you're coming back on Sunday, you're going to need them. The roads are going to be much worse on Sunday than on Saturday. Over the next 3 days, big drop in temperatures. We go from the upper 60s to the upper 50s on Sunday. Weather impact alert once again for the reasons we just listed on Sunday. Monday does look dry. In fact, Monday looks mostly sunny. Tuesday, building clouds once again. Then Wednesday, we've got another system on the way to Northern California. Again, doesn't appear to be a big storm, but it'll bring us another half an inch of rain or so across parts of the valley. Then we dry out for a few more days. And as we look towards the following weekend, we've got some more rain on the way to Northern California. So definitely the pattern is shifting from this warm and dry spring-like pattern back into a colder and wetter winter-like pattern to open up March. And of course, daylight saving time is coming up not this Sunday, but next Sunday. If you're watching this on YouTube, I recommend you get the ABC 10 Plus app. There's a weather playlist there, really easy to find all the weather extended forecasts, the weather explainers. We also have weather and climate specials. We have water specials up there. All of that is free on the ABC 10 Plus app. You can download that app anywhere you stream: Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and on many smart TVs as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, get the ABC 10 Plus app. Thanks for watching.